Hi guys, welcome to this very first episode of the podcast. Today in this episode we're going to clarify for you what this podcast is going to be all about and also going to share a bit about who I am. Do you want to experience the full potential of your sexual energy, deep intimacy in your relationship and how it feels like to truly be in your power as a man? Can you hear the world's desperate calling for conscious, heart-centered men to rise to the occasion? Then welcome to the Heart of a King podcast, where you will find the clarity, guidance, and tools that will empower you to do what it truly takes to live a life of freedom, fulfillment, and bliss. And today I have a special guest with me, my partner Marlene.
Hey Max, thank you for inviting me. So the last years you have been going through an intense time with a lot of inner work and focus on bringing deep conditioning to the surface into consciousness, as well as immersing yourself in mastering conscious relationships, sacred sexuality, and to become a true embodiment of your core values. And since a couple of years you are already working with men in these areas, can you tell me what problems do men come to you with?
They come to me with deep down knowing that they're a good man, that they're a powerful man and have a good heart, but they're just not able to really show up like that and embody it. They feel stuck in unconscious patterns, feel held back, and I help them to overcome these limitations and blockages and to embody who they truly are. Also, it's often problems getting into a conscious relationships, often getting stuck in the friend zone or in the other nice guy problems. And also problems really building a conscious relationship with deep intimacy. So I help them on this path as well. In the relationship, of course, in my opinion, one of the very most important aspects of that is the aspect of sexuality. And in this area also, they come to me with problems. And also, they're often just really stuck in a really limited experience of sexuality. And that leaves them, and especially their woman, really unsatisfied and often even frustrated. So I help them overcome these limitations and to truly make sacred sexuality a real-life embodied experience for them.
And what was your reason to start this journey of becoming a conscious man?
So from my childhood on, I experienced the exact opposite of that. So very early on, I knew what type of man I would never want to become. Because in my childhood, I experienced a lot of domestic violence and other expressions of what a wounded unconscious man looks like and behaves like from my father. That gave me a really clear direction into, okay, what type of man do I want to be? What do I want to bring into the world? And how do I really want to show up for the people around me?
And how do you get into the topic of sacred sexuality?
I was growing up in a really conservative environment and sexuality was not really talked about. It was something that was said to be something to be ashamed of, and it was something really suppressed, actually. I always had this deep inner knowing and remembrance that it is something so innocent, holy, and sacred. So I had this deep connection to love and sexuality very early on, and that developed into a deep curiosity in that, and later on studying Tantra and Taoism and all the other paths to sacred sexuality, to now having it as a real lived experience.
Thank you for sharing your story so honestly. From my perspective, I can truly say that I'm really impressed by how you embody this awareness. And to give the listeners a small idea of me, I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years before we met. The reason for this have been toxic relationship patterns that I experienced and I had to recover from. And because I was looking for a conscious, honest partner who is willing to do the work of a conscious relationship. The sad fact is actually that, my experiences have been very frustrating because I really miss the integrity in men, that words match to actions. This is what I see in you and feel when I'm with you. And I'm so grateful for that because it allows me to heal in so many aspects. I feel that it's very important to bring out this message. Can you explain how to start with this journey?
So for all of that, to become a conscious man in general, to build a conscious relationship and to have higher sexual experiences, all of that, the path towards that is doing the deep inner work. And for that, it's most effective if you have the proper guidance and support and don't have to figure everything out by yourself. What I find a really amazing thing to have alongside with that is to have other brothers on your side who are walking the same path, to have a community as additional support.
Do you offer this?
So in the past, I was mainly working one-on-one with men. I was also a guest coach in a bigger men's group along these topics. But now I really got the calling that my work needs to reach more people and I want to help more men. So right now I'm working on a brand new online course around all of this.
And you mentioned that there's going to be a special giveaway.
Yes, that's true. Because I was thinking, how can I best support someone that found this podcast right now and is like, finally I found something like this and I'm ready to do what it takes to become this conscious version of myself. So I thought the best thing I can offer to you and I can give away is one spot of full access to the online course, including something that will not be purchasable like this, which is to have one-on-one support and coaching from me along the way.
What does the listener have to do to win?
To win all of this, you just need to do quick 3 steps. First of all, just go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and follow this podcast and then write a review for the podcast to how you like the idea of this podcast. And for the last step, just go to Instagram and follow us there because this is where I am going to reach out to the winner. You can find the links for all of that in the show notes. So thank you so much, Marlene, for being on here today.
Thank you for having me, and to all the listeners, enjoy the podcast.